This is what I would do if I was in a practice situation. Just cover as much water I can until I find some spawning flats. Then if I find some nice spawning flats, then I'll slow down quite a bit. Grass or isolated cover and good bottom, like nice sand, shelly bottom. You gotta stay away from that mud silted over bottom. They don't, and these bass down here don't really prefer that. They like to have it easy going, find some nice shelly bottom. They don't have to work as hard to make a bed. And you could tell by a lot of times what kind of bottom you have. You got cattails, and that's normally semi-sandy, muddy bottom, but we call buggy whips, them reeds, pencil reeds, they pretty much grow in just nice, sandy, shelly bottom. And another giveaway for muddy bottom is lily pads. The lily pads, they love to grow in that mud. So you can pretty much ride around and know what kind of bottom you got, just the cover you have. Visually, you can see it's out of the water. Sometimes you can go on Google Images and just see where they're spawning, but that's another way you can find beds and good spawning areas. If you Google Images and go back when the lake was low or at any time really, you can just zoom in on areas and you start seeing them little white polka dots, you know the bottom's good there. And if a tilapia is gonna bed there, so will a bass. When it's spawning time, these bass will take over these tilapia beds when the lake starts dropping, because these tilapia will dig a foot deep, foot and a half deep hole. And so now you're working with, just a regular foot of water. Them bass will run them tilapia out of them holes and take over their beds. And so these fish will get shallow. I mean, like right now, you're looking at that deep right there. And these fish are up in here spawning that. And I know it's cold right now, but when this sun comes out, they're gonna pull up and feed and try to do their thing in this shallow water, because this warms up a lot quicker than that deeper water out there, that 2-3 foot of water. And these mats ought to be holding them, but they'll get bogged up in thick cover. Just try to collect some heat. And when that sun comes out, they'll be, I try to say, if I'm flipping a mat, like say this one, for instance, this one, you could just throw in the thickest part. You can pick it apart with just a crawdad or something. And what I look for, anything like the brown stuff, anything dead will collect heat a lot quicker than anywhere else on that mat. So if you got some dead buggy whips, reeds, or cattail laidovers, and then they'll be pretty much right there at that spot, I've noticed. See, that's what I was talking about right there. You can see the small eelgrass coming up around that bed. And you can see the shells, they're shining in that nice sand bottom. That's what you want to try to find, and that's why them fish are here. This good bottom. And you can see right here next to it, you got all these buggy whips that are growing. You can tell these things grow really good in the sand bottom.